It is 5:52. This is Magic Talk. Yes, we had one of those moments. I'm sorry, there was a technical problem, but Chang is working on it, but we won't worry about it from here on in. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good.
Good. I was just ringing up about this early childhood thing because carrying on from where the other gentleman left off, in terms of brain development, and you can look at the work of Nathan Wallace, who's a well-known neuroscience researcher in this country, and he's done a lot of talks around brain development and early childhood particularly, and he actually says that the brain isn't ready to do the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s until around the ages of 6 or 7.
Which is when they pretty much go to school, right?
That's right. So in the early years, it's very much about impulse control, and it's very much about learning to relate to others. So if your child has good impulse control at the age of 3 or 4 and they can relate well to others, that's going to be determining how successful they're going to be in later life.
So he's advocating if you're going to send your child to a kindy or a preschool, it's all about socialising and learning that social development aspect, right?
Yeah, and it's play-based. It's not getting them into the formal intellectual academic learning prior to 6 or 7.
Yeah, I just stay with me, Sarah, because I had a text here saying if Heyman wanted his 4-year-olds to start reading and writing and maths, he should have paid for them to go to a preschool. Kindergarten has a different philosophy, focusing on dispositions such as sharing, taking turns, and developing the child through play. Would you agree?
Yes, and that's going to set the child up with a much better foundation than pushing them to learn at 3 or 4 on an intellectual level. They will learn to hate learning. Like by the time they're 6 or 7, they will not enjoy academic learning anymore. So they've done experiments on children where they did start learning their intellectual academics at 4 and 5 compared to a child that started learning at 6, 7, and by the time they're both 8 or 9, they're at the same level. But the child who starts learning that level at a later age enjoys learning more.
Yeah, I was concerned when Heyman said, let the kids learn what the pressure is like now. And I'm going, how about you just let kids be kids? That pressure is going to come anywhere along the line, and they don't need that pressure from you, because that, for me, is part of the problem. The pressure, and look, let's be blunt, a lot of immigrant children and parents want their children to succeed, but the amount of pressure they put on them must be enormous. I mean, I'll use this example. Friends of mine, they are Chinese, great friends, but if one of their mates who is also Chinese goes and buys a 50-inch television, the other will go buy a 75-inch television, and so on. Right? This pressure, this pressure they put on each other to be better, is ridiculous. And I would contend that there is a culture that is part of the culture, right?
Well, the other thing that it really needs to be understood, that in a learning environment, if some of these early childhood centres, they've got 30 to 40 to 50 children in one space. You think about the noise levels and the pressure of sharing and the politics. Like, that is a high pressure environment, and those children's nervous systems are under a lot of pressure. So what you did, sending your child to a home base centre, is actually much, much better for that child. And I mean, of course, ideally you would want, in an ideal world, the mother to look after the child, or preferably the father. But if you have to choose an early childhood education option, then home base is much better for the child's overall holistic development.
Yeah. Well, I had fun too, because I got to read stories every morning as well. So that's what I put it. Hey, Sarah, I loved your call. Thanks so much for sharing today. It's 4 minutes to 6. Hi, Grant. Thanks for being patient.